Hey, did you know that the FDIC, the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, which is kind of supposed to be something that's separated from the government, but not part of the government, that insurance that backs your bank account with your bank, that gives you that sense of security up to like $250,000? Two things. One, you only get insured per account. In other words, you get one account per person. In other words, if you have various accounts, you don't get a federal FDIC insurance on every one of those accounts. The other is, the FDIC doesn't even have the money to back the trillions of dollars that sit in the bank accounts today. They have billions of dollars, but it only accounts about 1.2% of the needed funds to back every individual that has money in a banking system of over $250,000. That should be concerning to you. So click below, subscribe to our channel, and we're going to talk right now about the FDIC. Before we jump into the video, I like to show something that is kind of going to make you healthier or help you to be able to defend yourself a little bit better, or even something that's going to help you be more self-sufficient. What I like to talk about today is ginger, organic ginger. This is a powdered ginger, and I put this in my mate, my big mate cup that I make every day. Remember, I use this guayusa. I put in some guaraná from Brazil. I get the guayusa from the Amazon jungle, and I like to put the ginger in there. And why would I put ginger in there? Well, it doesn't taste bad, but it also does change the taste of my tea or mate or whatever you want to put it into. The powder is easier. You can get it and cut it up if you want to. Some people dehydrate it and put it in there. But here I'm going to read to you some of the benefits of ginger. And let's just go right off of where you can find a direct benefit. Ginger increases the serotonin and dopamine levels. Okay, this can reduce then inflammation, which may cause depression. Ginger could also provide benefits for anxiety. We mentioned depression, dementia, Alzheimer's disease, and post-traumatic stress disorder. It eases stomach pains, and ginger can also be treated for nausea or motion sickness. So we're at a time right now when people are under a lot of stress, and stress kills. I had a heart attack 12 years ago. My doctor, they never really figured out what was wrong with my heart, came back to me and said, look, you got to change your career. So I stepped down from being an executive and slowly went down from a fishing guide in the Amazon jungles and to basically starting all over again in construction and never leaving behind the world of decentralized crypto investing and going forward. Now, before I go any further here, I want to just say that I'm not a financial advisor. We do this to share with you our knowledge, what we learn through our experiences, and we try to not shield anything here. This is no shield zone. We don't try, we don't. We try to give you good content, that's truthful content, breaking it down in a way that you can digest this through examples that are simple, we can understand. And I actually got another video going to come out with my little girl. We're going to call it Crypto and Kids, and we got some other kids too that are getting involved in crypto in a little group, and we're going to kind of sit down with them and do a little podcast with them once a week. So we'll be airing that too, and I'll let you know when that is. So please give us a thumbs up, subscribe, hit that button below, and let's jump into what I want to talk about today. FDIC, Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation. I like how they put that. You know, down in Latin America, in Ecuador, for example, they have electric company, and an electric company they've set up as like a separate entity, a separate corporation, right? And ML Norte, it's called ML Norte. It's an acronym, and yet they act like the government's not part of that. If the government controls and pulls the strings behind it, and when they want to raise electricity rates to get you 1 month, and then the government comes back and says, oh, we're so sorry they did that. We're going to make them give you a rebate back. But they only give you back, let's say they jack it up $50 more or $100 more, and they give you back like maybe $25, $30 of it, and you feel like, okay, I got it back. I must have used the rest of it. And it's just a pure way to scam the people. And I'm going to say something right now. We're finding out last 4 or 5 years that what we once held as dear and sacred here in America is actually become so corrupted. And I hate to say that. It doesn't mean I don't believe that we can save America. and we can. And we need to. We need to do something about that. And this is why I do my part in this YouTube channel. I hope you like what we're doing, the content, so please subscribe and help us out. We're trying to hit that 30,000 subscribers. FDIC, I just want to get him basic, breaking it down. We all go into the bank and we see this FDIC insured. Now, real banks, actual banks, are FDIC insured, not other types of banks. Crypto platforms, etc. They're not FDIC insured. In fact, the meeting they just had in December, you can go on, I'll put a link to their website. You can go on and find all their meetings. They actually, you can view them with the public. And ironically, you can dig through there and you can find some recent meetings where they talked about this insurance issue, and they talk about not telling the public that they don't have enough money to back the bank accounts that we have, our money that's in our bank accounts. In other words, though they have billions of dollars available to insure trillions of dollars, it only comes out to about 1.2% right now of all money. In other words, insurance of all money that's in the banking system. Another thing too that we need to realize is that what I've just learned recently, though I might have 3 or 4 bank accounts, not all those bank accounts are FDIC insured. I get one of those accounts as FDIC insured. Now, if you know more about that, you want to put some comments below, please go ahead and feel free to explain what I'm seeing and what I'm listening to in these clips and some of these meetings. I'm going to try to find some of that information and put it down below for you. Leads me to understand that only one of my bank accounts is actually insured, and I'm really sure that's how it works. The other thing is that one actually insured? It's insured up to $250,000, right? But if they don't have the money to insure it, and there's a run of the banks, what happens to the money? Well, recently in a meeting, these directors of the FDIC were very plain spoken and said that the day will come, and they were actually implying that what may soon come, that there will be an implosion. In other words, they wouldn't receive any more bailout in the next crisis. Now, in the 2008 crisis with Barack Obama, they passed laws and legislation that would not allow the federal government to bail out the banks anymore. Did you know that? So if there's another bank collapse or a run on the banks, the federal government's not going to step in. What are they going to do? Well, they're going to do exactly like they did in Ecuador. I think it was in 1998, 1997, I think it was 98. What they did with the Sucre is they actually just shut down all the banks and took all the depositors' monies, and they used that money to pay off their debts. So the depositors paid the debts of the banks. That's you and I here in this country, right? That's not just the U.S. banking system. That is all banking systems in all major countries, and smaller countries, even more corruption. I've been there. I've talked to them. When I was an executive, I've done a lot with banks and banking executives and presidents, and I know the corruption takes place there. I've talked about it in other videos. So here's the thing I'm trying to tell you right now, is that the bank is not a safe place to put your money. Look at Wells Fargo, Citibank, Bank of America. Wells Fargo just got slapped by, I don't know how many, $1.5 billion or $3.5 billion, something like that, where they have to pay back to people because they're just basically stealing your money. If you look at the amount of money since the early 2000, the last 20 years, in the amount of money that banks have been fined, have to repay back to depositors or clients for money they stole. That's just what they got caught for. And they keep doing it, so obviously they keep making at it. A bank is not a safe place to put your money. Now, what do you do with your money? You put it in a safe at your house? Well, then you got theft on the rise. Okay, so what do I do with it? I gotta go out and dig a hole somewhere and hide my money? Well, I guess there's a good case for crypto there, right? A decentralized crypto, a good crypto, not all crypto. Bitcoin, I feel, is a very strong plus going forward. It's established itself now. There's some others in there. I don't personally like Ethereum. It's very centralized. It's trying to vie to be the token that the governments use, and that's not necessarily a good thing for us. So if I buy my crypto and I put it on my cold wallet, I talked to somebody the other night, they said, well, hey, you're buying your cryptocurrencies And Bitcoin is a cryptocurrency, but they're two really different animals. They're decentralized. There's no centralization to it. It's just a software that's put into what's called a blockchain, and it's put out there. And there's nobody else running it. It's run by the community. And that is something that the SEC, the Security and Exchange Commission in the United States, can't even reach and touch. And they're trying to pass legislation now, but Bitcoin is something they cannot legislate because it's outside of the parameters of what they consider to be a share or a stock of a company, where other cryptocurrencies really do act like shares or stocks of companies. They do, and I've always thought that. But they run a little bit differently, but they can still, I can see where the SEC is going to say, well, we want to control that. They're not going to pass up that opportunity. Come on now. So I think we need to be really cautious of the banking system. I have to use banks. I get paid. Money goes in, money goes out. I put that in safe places. I buy precious metals and I buy crypto. And I can hold those in other places that are safe, especially crypto in a cold wallet, and I can put that someplace it's safe. Now, you can be imaginative. I don't want to tell you ideas because then somebody wants to come and try to rob me, then they would pick up on some of my ideas, right? Where I keep it. But I don't keep it here with me. We keep it away and we keep it somewhere secure. But you got to be very careful of the banking system. And even when you're going to keep the money yourself. But you know, even digging a hole in your backyard is much better off than keep your money in a bank. I've had 4 accounts closed for no reason at all. But when we had a corporation, we had millions of dollars running through it, and yet the bank came through back 4 or 5 years later and just said, you know what? Justify all that. So we gave them all the paperwork, everything justified. We didn't like that. Boom, shut it down and closed it. The money was in the account, stayed there until we could justify it, but no matter what we did, they never qualified the justification. They just stole our money is what it was. It's a scam. And I've had that happen to me more than once. Now, that has not happened to me in the United States, but I do know of people that's happened to the United States. And it happened to me of U.S. banks, though, in other countries. So I won't mention those banks because I don't want to be sued for be liable here. And maybe I wouldn't be because it happened to me, right? But I'll just leave that out for now. Okay, Citibank was one of them. All right, I said it. Here we go. Sorry. Hey, be wise and understanding. Do your own research before you get in and think that you're secured by governments. And I know that, you know, we didn't have government. We didn't have a basic form of government. I'm not against government, but I am against big overreaching governments. And this is why I like free market economy, and why I like doing these videos and hoping to help you understand the benefits we have when we have a free market. Yeah, in that there also can mean, you know, there's people that are going to abuse that. They are, but we clean that up, and we clean up ourselves, and we have basic government to step in where we can't, right? So we got to keep it that way and keep it where we can control it and have understanding. But you need to do your part and understand too, right? I mean, that's only fair. And that's doing our part as patriots of a country, no matter what country you're in. DeFi IoT, just be careful. The banking system does not have the insurance to cover your money like you think it does. And be careful to leave your money in the bank. A savings account, an IRA account, those are dangerous areas to keep your money going forward. We'll talk more about that in the next video. DeFi IoT.